Welcome everybody in this 12th video of the rise of nationalism in Europe. In our last video we have discussed about Romanticism, and we are continuing the topic the age of revolution 1830 to 1848. In this topic, the age of revolution, till now we have read about July Revolution 1830 that occurred in France. After that, impact that was felt in Brussels, capital city of Belgium. After that, we have read about Greek War of Independence, and in our last video we have discussed about Romanticism, a cultural movement. So two more topic is left in this section, the age of revolution 1830 to 1848, and it is hunger, hardship and popular revolt. That means the revolt that occurred in the economic sphere. And the second topic by the liberal nationalist, and that is the revolution of 1848 in France. In this video we will continue from hunger, hardship and popular revolt. So let's begin. Part 12 of rise of nationalism in Europe. In our previous video we already have read about July Revolution, uprising in Brussels, Greek War of Independence and Romanticism. So two topic is left. One is hunger, hardship and popular revolt in economic sphere, and revolution by the liberals in France. So in this video we will complete this section, the age of revolution 1830 to 1848. Four topic we already have read. To rest topic today in this video we are going to complete. So first of all, hunger, hardship and popular revolt. Hunger, hardship and popular revolt. In this section we will have to emphasize upon the increasing economic hardship during 1830s and the reason for this widespread pauperism, and due that the popular revolt that occurred in France in 1848, an incident that occurred in Silesian village in 1845, and ultimately revolution by the liberal nationalist. The first question of this section, it is what led to widespread pauperism in Europe during first half of the 19th century. 1830s matlab beginning first half of the 1848 means first half of the 19th century. So for examination point of view, these are the points that you should keep in your mind. That is enormous increase in population. So what we are reading, why there were extreme economic hardship. So first of all, it was a time period when population all over the Europe increased so rapidly. So enormous increase in population, severe condition of unemployment. Now we could understand if population will increase, so it will lead to unemployment, and the situation of unemployment was severe. One of the important cause was we know that this was a time period when industrial revolution occurred in England, and due to this industrial revolution cheap machine made goods flooded the other region of Europe, and due that the local weavers of those regions perished in such a situation. So stiff competition was there from import of cheap machine made goods from England, large scale migration from rural area to urban area, large scale migration from rural areas to urban area. So actually two problems created at the same time. One is excess strife burden upon the urban area, and second, in rural areas those who were supplier of food grain, they migrate to urban area in large number, and now they started demanding the food grain. So the supplier now started demanding food grain. It also put excess pressure over the availability of food supply and availability of food grain. So actually what will happen is scarcity of food grain, and due that increase in the food prices, and it was a time period consistent drought occurred, and due to that reason bad harvest also was there. So actually due to all this reason, in all over the Europe there were severe economic condition. It was common cause almost in several part of Europe, but especially now we will focus upon France. So this economic condition was severe in France also, and due to this severe economic condition, once again the situation was there of subsistence crisis for the people, and in such a situation the year 1848 food shortage occurred. Unemployment brought the population of Paris out of the on the road. Barricades were erected. Barricades were erected, and Louis Philippe was forced to flee the city. So that means July Revolution once again brought an end to absolute monarchy. February Revolution. This revolution occurred in February, so that's why it is termed as February Revolution. So February Revolution in 1848 brought an end of monarchy once again in France. A national assembly proclaimed a republic. That means France became a second republic. We already have read the first republic during the Jacobeans revolution. After the Jacobeans revolution under Maximilien Robespierre, a first republic government was established. Now in 1848 second republic was established in France. Now this republic granted all adult male above 21 right to vote. यहाँ पे ध्यान दोगे adult males only. That means female did not get right to vote. Females did not get right to vote even in 1848 when Second Republic was established in France, and guaranteed the right to work. National workshop to provide employment also were set up. That means it was the major cause. Unemployment was major cause, and that's why attention was given upon generation of employment, and that's why national workshop to generate employment was set up. Now you could see here the defender of the barricade in Paris and barricade fighting. So this republic government was established in 1848 February Revolution. It continues till 1852, और उसके बीच में जून 1848 को एक और फेल्ड रिवॉल्यूशन हुआ था तख्ता पलट करने के लिए. ऑल्दो ये रिवॉल्यूशन नेपोलियन बोनापार्ट के नेतृत्व में ही हुआ था, बट इस रिवॉल्यूशन का आउटकम ये हुआ कि नेपोलियन बोनापार्ट को इलेक्टेड प्रेसिडेंट घोषित किया गया. लेकिन देखो 1848 से लेकर 1852 तक ये नेपोलियन बोनापार्ट तो यहाँ पे रूल कर रहे थे, लेकिन जब ये भी डिक्टेटरशिप की ही तरह था लगभग, तो पीपल्स वर नॉट हैप्पी विद द रूल इन दिस 3 years. तो दैट्स व्हाई नेपोलियन बोनापार्ट वाज नॉट एबल टू विन द इलेक्शन. So when he failed to win the election, then he led a military coup in 2nd December 1852. So after that, once again dictatorial regime type of government was established by Napoleon III in France, that lasted till 1870. So He became first elected president of the French Second Republic that was established in 1848. He seized power in 1851 when he could not constitutionally be re-elected and become the emperor of the France. He founded the Second French Empire and was its only emperor until the defeat of the French. तो ये कब तक रूलर रहे? फ्रैंको प्रूसियन वॉर 1870. ये फ्रैंको प्रूसियन वॉर देखोगे जब जर्मन यूनिफिकेशन पर होगे तो इस युद्ध इस वॉर का फिर से चर्चा हम लोग करेंगे. ऑल्दो ये तुम्हारे सिलेबस का पार्ट नहीं है, तुमको ये 1848 फरवरी रिवॉल्यूशन को ध्यान में रखना है. तो 1848 फरवरी रिवॉल्यूशन और उसके आउटकम को ध्यान में रखोगे, बस ये जानकारी के लिए ध्यान. तो फरवरी रिवॉल्यूशन brought in to monarchy once again. Louis Philippe was forced to flee the city and Second Republic was established in France. Now one incident as an example we have to read in this hunger, hardship and popular revolt, that is of Silesian uprising. So Silesia was one of the villages in France. It is a weaving village. Most of the farmers were involved, most of the villagers involved in weaving occupations, but the contractor drastically reduced the amount that was given to them for the order, and that's why the weaver raised a revolt against the contractor. As the contractor drastically reduced their payment, demanded higher wages, they were not treated well. So a group of the crowd entered the contractor's house forcibly and destroyed the furniture, window pans, and plundered it. पूरे मतलब तहस नहस कर देना. The contractor fled with his family to a neighboring village but did not get shelter. But after 24 hours, he returned back with the help of army, in which allegedly 11 weavers were shot dead. This shows that the viewpoint of the journalist was based against Wolf. एक जर्नलिस्ट हैं जिन्होंने इसको डिस्क्राइब किया है about the incident that occurred in Silesian village. Describe the revolution in France. तो whatever 1848 की revolution को describe करोगे. Popular struggle occurred in France in 1848. People of France forced Louis Philippe to flee and National Assembly was made and Second Republic was established in France. Food shortage, widespread unemployment, administrative inefficiency and economic hardship was the major causes of discontentment. देखो क्वेश्चन सारा यहाँ इसलिए स्लाइड में दे देते हैं कि उसका एक स्क्रीनशॉट भी लेके रख सकते हो और धीरे धीरे तुम्हारा नोट्स भी मतलब प्रिपेयर हो जाएगा. Now one question is, what were the outcomes of revolution of 1848? The French became a republic. Suffrage was given to all adult males above 21 years of age. यहाँ पे 18 नहीं होगा, ये 21 years of age. Workshops were set up to provide employment. The new section 1848, the revolution of the liberals. तो जैसा अभी हम लोग देखें कि कल्चरल स्फेयर में रोमांटिसिज्म, कल्चरल स्फेयर में हंगर, हार्डशिप एंड पॉपुलर रिवॉल्ट, इकोनॉमिक स्फेयर में तो रिवॉल्यूशन कल्चरल स्फेयर में भी हो रहे थे जहां रोमांटिक आर्टिस्ट इन्वॉल्व थे, इकोनॉमिक स्फेयर में हो रहे थे जहां पुअर पीशेंट्स, अनएम्प्लॉयड, स्टार्विंग पीपल ये इन्वॉल्व थे. तो पैरेलल टू द रिवॉल्ट ऑफ पुअर, अनएम्प्लॉयड एंड स्टार्विंग पीशेंट्स एंड वर्कर्स in many European countries in the year 1848, a revolution led by the educated middle class was underway. So now you could understand why this period up to 1848 is called revolutionary period. So you could see in several places of Europe, such revolution was on its way. इवेंट्स ऑफ फेब्रुअरी रिवॉल्यूशन 1848, जिसके बारे में अभी पढ़े हम लोग, फेब्रुअरी रिवॉल्यूशन 1848 इन फ्रांस हैड ब्राउट अबाउट द एब्डिक्शन ऑफ मोनार्क एंड अ रिपब्लिक बेस्ड ऑन यूनिवर्सल मेल सफरेज हैड बीन प्रोक्लेम। तो ये तो अभी पढ़े हम लोग, 1848 में फ्रांस में ये रिवॉल्यूशन हुआ। लेकिन फ्रांस के अलावा इन अदर पार्ट्स ऑफ यूरोप जहां अभी इंडिपेंडेंट नेशन स्टेट जो नहीं बने थे, ऐसे रीजन जो नेशन स्टेट नहीं बने थे बट नेशन स्टेट बनना चाहते थे, और इसके लिए वहाँ पे भी रिवॉल्यूशन, मतलब यूरोप के बहुत सारे रीजन में ऐसे रिवॉल्यूशन जैसे फ्रांस की तरह कंटिन्यूड थे, और जो अभी तक नेशन स्टेट नहीं बने थे, सच एज जर्मनी, इटली, पोलैंड, ऑस्ट्रियो हंगेरियन एम्पायर। Men and women of the liberal middle class combined their demand for constitutionalism with national unification। मतलब ये डिमांड यूरोप के बहुत सारे ऐसे रीजन में जहां मोनार्कियल फॉर्म ऑफ गवर्नमेंट था, वहां पीपल के कंसेंट से गवर्नमेंट फॉर्म करने की डिमांड तेज हो गई। तो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनलिज्म विथ नेशनल यूनिफिकेशन। नाउ one question is here, what were demand of the liberal nationalist? लिबरल नेशनलिस्ट हम लोग ये डिस्कस किए थे कि ये लिबरल नेशनलिस्ट कौन है, बट यहाँ पे फिर से एक बार समझ लो कि देखो 9 में पढ़े थे 3 तरह के आइडियोलॉजिकल ग्रुप के बारे, कंजर्वेटिव, लिबरल और रेडिकल्स। तो लिबरल आइडियोलॉजी वहाँ जो पढ़े थे उसी आइडियोलॉजी से जो गाइडेड है वो लिबरल आइडियोलॉजी। अब जब नेशनलिस्ट की बात आई तो अब कुछ नेशनलिस्ट ऐसे थे जो रेडिकल आइडियोलॉजी को बिलोंग्स करते, रेडिकल आइडियोलॉजी को फॉलो करते थे। तो रेडिकल नेशनलिस्ट, बस अधिकांश लोग जो थे जो नेशनलिस्ट थे, जो नेशन स्टेट बनाना चाहते थे लेकिन लिबरल आइडियोलॉजी को फॉलो करते थे ग्रेजुअली, आराम से, तो उनको लिबरल नेशनलिस्ट कहा गया। तो व्हाट वी आर डिमांड ऑफ द लिबरल नेशनलिस्ट इन जर्मनी, ये जिस रिवॉल्यूशन के बारे में हम लोग बात कर रहे थे कि यूरोप के अदर रीजन में, in other parts of Europe where independent nation state did not yet exist such as Germany, Italy, Poland, Austria, तो उसमें रिवॉल्यूशन हो रहा था। यहाँ पे हम लोग एम्फसाइज करेंगे कि यहाँ पे जर्मनी में क्या हो रहा था। तो we will read about the incident that occurred in German Confederation in 1848। तो पहले तो इनका डिमांड क्या था, लिबरल नेशनलिस्ट क्रिएशन ऑफ नेशन स्टेट। सबसे पहले तो ये नेशन स्टेट बनाना चाहते थे। पार्लियामेंट्री प्रिंसिपल, क्रिएशन ऑफ नेशन स्टेट ऑन पार्लियामेंट्री प्रिंसिपल। पार्लियामेंट्री प्रिंसिपल मतलब डेमोक्रेटिक फॉर्म ऑफ गवर्नमेंट के द्वारा एक नेशन स्टेट बने जहाँ डेमोक्रेटिक फॉर्म ऑफ गवर्नमेंट हो, एक कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन हो, जो भी रूलर हो वो उसके पास अनलिमिटेड पावर नहीं ना हो और वो एक नियम कानून से काम करे, और फ्रीडम ऑफ प्रेस एंड फ्रीडम ऑफ एसोसिएशन, मतलब प्रेस का फ्रीडम और फ्रीडम ऑफ एसोसिएशन। तो एक्चुअली ये सारे बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट होते हैं किसी भी डेमोक्रेसी के लिए, फ्रीडम ऑफ प्रेस या फ्रीडम ऑफ एसोसिएशन। नाउ वन मोर क्वेश्चन, व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय फेमिनिस्ट? तो सिंपली तुम जानते हो, दोज हु बिलीव इन इक्वल राइट ऑफ टू मेल एंड फीमेल वी आर कॉल्ड फेमिनिस्ट। तो मेनली इस क्वेश्चन में हम लोग पॉलिटिकल, इकोनॉमिक और सोशल आइडियोलॉजी जो लिबरल्स की है वहाँ इम्फेसाइज करेंगे। तो पॉलिटिकल स्फेयर में लिबरल नेशनलिस्ट जो 1848 के लिबरल नेशनलिस्ट थे जर्मन कन्फेडरेशन में, वो क्या चाहते थे, वो जर्मनी का यूनिफिकेशन चाहते थे, एक पार्लियामेंट्री फॉर्म ऑफ गवर्नमेंट विथ अ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन चाहते थे। इकोनॉमिक स्फेयर में जो लिबरल नेशनलिस्ट थे वो क्या चाहते थे, दो दे वांटेड फ्री फ्लो ऑफ गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज एंड इकोनॉमिक इंटीग्रेशन ऑफ द रीजन। पॉलिटिकल स्फेयर में दे वेयर अगेंस्ट मोनार्कियल फॉर्म ऑफ गवर्नमेंट एंड वांटेड टू एस्टैब्लिश गवर्नमेंट बेस्ड अपॉन पार्लियामेंट्री प्रिंसिपल। और सोशल स्फेयर में दे एडवोकेट equality and freedom but we are against political right to women. Actually liberal ideas in economic sphere, in political sphere and in social sphere. So that's all for this video, and don't forget to see my next video in which we are going to discuss a very important topic, that is Frankfurt Parliament and the process of German unification. Thank you for watching.